What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron. How are we doing? We're live and in the flesh to hop on here to do an underdog fantasy draft with real money on the... I had my sound on talking back to me. But how are we? Let me know. Everybody in here, say what's up. Say what's good. If you're in the live chat, say something. We got Brock in here who is absolutely astonished that I am in here on time. Hey, man. Hey, man. They said we couldn't do it, but we're here. I think I set it to 7:40. I could be wrong. If I set it to 7:45, then I'm happy about that. But I might have set it to 7:40. But we're in here. We're on time. We got people like, I don't even know how to say this. I would say Kepi calling me a cutie patootie. Thank you, brother. How are we? How are we? Look good. We sound good. Do we feel good? What are we doing on this fine Thursday? I figured we'd hop in here, squeeze in a little underdog draft before the Celtics game. How are we? You guys see the video I put out yesterday? I see Brock saying, giving it some love. I love your video from earlier today. I posted that. I think I posted that last night. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. It didn't really do great in the algorithm, I'm not going to lie. I might have screwed up the thumbnail or the title. I put a Minecraft pickaxe in the thumbnail, but we're getting back into redraft. I enjoyed making that video. I thought that was a really informative video and a fun video. So we're going to get back on our grind here. We have Memorial Day weekend, then June 1st, and it's time to really buckle down and actually get to it in terms of redraft. But I still do have some Dynasty videos I want to do. Now, we'll talk about that as we get into this draft. Today, we're getting in here. We're doing an underdog draft. They have the Poodle. The Poodle 2 is out right now. As always, if you are not already on Underdog Fantasy, what the hell are you doing, man? Make sure you hop in there, Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code RON. They'll match your deposit up to $100. So you can get in here and hop in a draft with us. You can draft, by your lonesome while you're watching a game. It's just a very fun pastime to go out here, see what the ADPs are looking like, get some skin in the game this far out. And because it's Underdog Fantasy, it's best ball. You don't have to set a lineup every week, which is why I've drafted. I think I've now drafted over 150 plus teams for 2023 already, and I don't got to worry about them. It's the beauty of it. There's I max out every year. Like you guys see, I live stream my high stakes drafts. I'll max out at like 10 to 15 of those. So it's nice to be able to get, a bunch of skin, a bunch of rolls at hitting your best possible lineup. Because imagine, you only do 12 redraft home leagues, and they all, maybe some of them are good, some of them are bad. But, maybe that 13th or that, that 25th team would have been the one where it's like, man, this one could actually net thousands of dollars on a place like Underdog or a big tournament, NFFC, all of that stuff. So we're going to hop into Underdog here. I'm going to drop a link as well. Let's drop a link. Did I already drop that link? No. So I'll have a link that will take you right to Underdog Fantasy. It'll use my promo code, and it'll get you right in there. It'll match your deposit up to $100. Boom. I'm putting it in the live chat. I'm going to put it in, I'll put it in the comments after the video. It'll be pinned in the live chat. It'll be pinned in the comments. It'll be in the description. It's all right there. Now, let me get this all set up here. I'm going to gas up you guys in a second here. Let's go here. We have the Chow Chow, which I think once the Poodle fills, maybe we'll get into one of these Chow Chows. $50 to enter. The thing is, though, when they raise the buy-ins, you don't really have to have, you get a smaller pool, So you can, 5,000 versus 48,000 means you can kind of, I don't know. You have a better shot of taking down something pretty crazy up top. I also love that they're doing these where it's 15 entry max, 20 entry max, so nobody out here is just dominating the pot, right? Again, if you're new, check out Underdog Fantasy. The Poodle 2, I think, is the most beginner-friendly contest right now. $7 to enter, only 20 max entry, so you don't have anybody out here, 150 drafts, something that I do, but it's something to kind of, it's beginner-friendly, $60,000 to first place. It's a great format, structure, $300,000 in total prizes, just $7 to enter. And the beauty of it is it's a tournament. Now, I know that tournament's kind of a little bit confusing, but you start in your group of 12. I believe the top 2 of your 12-man league advance, and then the playoffs is a tournament. So all of the winners from every single one of these leagues all go together, so you have an overall winner, right? So instead of, 7 times 12, you're probably netting somewhere like $60 for first place. Instead, it's a tournament. You have a shot at $60,000. I mean, second place is even like $30,000. Third place is $15,000. Like, these are, big boy prizes. So I'm going to hop in here. As Brock said, yeah, less tryhards. That's literally what it is in here. All right, let's hop in. I'm going to join this one right here. If anybody wants to hop in with us, I'll give you guys a little bit of a countdown. We'll go 3, 2, 1, boom, boom, and now we're in. If you get in here with me, let me know. Oh, it already filled, so I don't know. We'll see. We got Matthew in here saying Underdog's the best. Hold on. Okay. So let's actually get me all situated here. Yeah. Let's do this. Put me here. And we'll go out here. Pop this out. My bad, fellas. I should really have this set up, but I'm an amateur, bro. I'm an amateur. I should really have this set up beforehand, but I think we're fine. Let me just make sure sizing's all good. Let's zoom in a little bit on this one. Then we should be good. We got the 10 spot. Not a pretty spot whatsoever, but it just is kind of the nature of the beast with these things. But how are we doing here today? Now I'm finally in here. You know, we've promoted Underdog. We've gone into a draft. Now I can actually kind of talk with the people here. We got Matthew in here. How are you, Ron? I'm all right. I'm doing all right. We got a Memorial Day weekend coming up here. It should be a fun weekend, a joyous-filled weekend. We have the Celtics game on tonight. That'll be fun. I'm a little skeptical about the Bears, but man, am I in on the Ravens and the Browns. That you were talking about the video I made yesterday, 100%, and that's why I put the Bears at the end. That's why I put the Bears at the end. Because it is a little bit more out there. It is a little bit more out there. I'll give you that. What else we got? Underdog is the best. Indeed. Indeed it is. We have looking good, Ron. Ron, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. You know I have to get so fresh is so clean for the viewers out there. Catching it live, what's good? Thank you, my brother, for hopping in here, checking out what we got going on. Just ran a draft earlier today. Love to hear it. Dude, I hate to say it. I think I did like 5 at the same time. I'm trying to hit the 20 max. We'll see. I think this thing's gonna fill by Friday night, Saturday morning. So we'll see how many I can get in there. Kyle Nielsen, bro, I've been making moves in Dynasty using your rankings. Scored Fields 2024 first for Davante Adams. I assume that's one quarterback, Kyle, but I love that. I kind of love that regardless. But that's beautiful. I'm glad you're finding the Dynasty rankings helpful. Not going to lie, I think round 8 to 10 is a wide receiver dead zone. Dude, the wide receiver dead zone might even be earlier than that, man. It literally might even be earlier than that. As soon as Metcalf is off the board, like, I don't mind these. Once we get here, it's really not that fun. Like, I mean, you guys have known, you guys that have been in here, you know, for the last couple of years, you know, we've been hammering wide receivers in this range, but it just feels like all of the up-and-coming wide receivers I'd usually take swings on, Watson. If he had Aaron Rodgers, I would be much more interested. You know, I would usually love a guy like Drake London, but it's a low-volume pass offense. Things look pretty rough there, you know? Like, a lot of these young guys, I mean, Michael Pittman kind of got nuked by A-Rich. It's just not as pretty as it's been in years past. Now, what do we got up top here? We have the 10th pick. We have Eckler. We have Davante Adams, CeeDee Lamb. Let's go Davante Adams. I think Davante Adams to me is like the last of that tier of like 20 point per game wide receivers. And half PPR is probably a little more like 18, 19. But I feel like there's a little bit of a tier break from Davante Adams to like Lamb, Wilson, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. So I don't mind just taking him there and seeing what goes down. You said Breece Hall is falling in drafts. Yeah, it seems like the sentiment on him with his ACL is like getting worse, just in terms of like what people on Twitter are saying. You said, Rami, trying to see you get that $3 million on God, bro. You won't even want to know what would go down if I won that $3 million, bro. You don't even want to know the celebration. I'd be dropping bags left and right. But that would be dope. There's nothing I would love more than winning that $3 million. Honestly, the coolest part of winning the $3 million would just be getting the ring, man. Give me that damn ring. Give me that damn ring. Less tryhards. Yeah, exactly. There's less tryhards in the Poodle, which is great. All right, so we're on the clock. We have Davante. Let's go Amon-Ra. Dude, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think we talked about it. I talked about it in my wide receiver tier list video like a month or two ago. Like, Amon-Ra St. Brown, look, I don't want to get crazy out there, but if Amon-Ra St. Brown finishes like a top 3 wide receiver, it wouldn't shock me in the slightest. His usage is really, really nice. The Lions' offense is good. Like, Amon-Ra St. Brown was like an injury and touchdown luck away from being a very dominant wide receiver in just his second year last year. And we still know, I want to do some more videos on year 3 breakouts at wide receiver, just to kind of look where those are coming from, what we can kind of expect. Because Amon-Ra St. Brown is a very interesting year 3 kind of case here. Oh my God, dude. I also do want to say, I sat down today to schedule out like June and July videos, and I'm sitting down to kind of finish that up tomorrow. If you guys have any videos you want to see over the next, like, I would say 4 to 6 weeks, let me know. I'll take a note if any of them stick out or look good. Also, it's pretty much like last call for Dynasty videos at this point. Like, I would say once June's done, like, Dynasty's pretty much going to take a pretty harsh backseat here. So if there's any last minute things you guys want to see in terms of Dynasty, let me know. We're going to have a Crazy Ambassador video this month. Be excited for it. We're going to have a video where I go through all of my teams and what I want to get them, done for week 1. But outside of that, I might do one as well that's like the perfect Dynasty startup, but it feels like it's past Dynasty startup season at this point. So let me know what you guys want to see, Dynasty redraft, all of that good stuff. Somebody said Bijan went 5th overall. Kind of just what it is at this point. It's pretty crazy. I plan to sit down and do redraft rankings, not this weekend, but the weekend after that, and we'll kind of see where I end up with Bijan. But I don't even think 5th overall is even that crazy at this point. I mean, I probably prefer Tyreek. Like, I don't think I even prefer Kelsey over Bijan. I think the only guy I can make a strong case for over Bijan would be Tyreek. I think I could do Diggs, and that's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. But yeah, Bijan at 5. It is pretty crazy how much people are just really accepting what he is in fantasy. But I think it's just kind of how weak running back is and how special he is as a prospect. I think I have to get in on Terry McLaurin. I'm not huge into Pittman. I've been drafting a lot of Ayuk, but I think Terry McLaurin's actually kind of interesting. I'm kind of coming around in the idea that I'm kind of coming around on Sam Howell actually being good. He was somebody that slipped probably too far in the draft. I don't hate the idea that he could come out pretty decent here. Thoughts on the continuous? Also, by the way, we're just gonna be hanging out here, drafting a team over the next hour or so. Feel free to drop any redraft Dynasty questions. Leave a like in the chat if you're enjoying your time here. It helps the boy out a ton. But yeah, just I like hopping on here and just connecting with you guys, seeing what you guys want to pick my brain on, all of that good stuff. But I think the continuous drop in quarterback ADP is just what makes sense. I think it was a little bit overcorrected early on. I don't really know. I'm trying to think of why they all got pushed up so early, but I think it was just kind of an overreaction to last year. I imagine they'll all probably settle in this like late 3rd area. I mean, Lamar's already getting bunched in with them, which is what should be happening. But man, was it fun when you could get 3-4 turn, or you used to be able to get 4-5 turn Mark Andrews on the big board. Those values are all gone. Oh my goodness, is this going to be a 3-10 Breece Hall? Oh yeah. I think we've been talking about this the last few drafts, man. But I think especially early on, this idea of like stacking wide receivers early and then taking one of these, like usually I'm fading running backs in the 3rd round, but like Breece Hall, Jacobs to me, Ramondre are all great running backs to have in like the 3rd round. I think you can even make a case for like ETN here too. So I don't mind the idea, especially because I don't love these wide receivers. Like, I don't really like any of these guys as like 4th round picks. I love the idea of kind of like stacking up the elite wide receivers early and then kind of like, reverse engineering like a double hero or hero RB build, right? Because we have 2 wide receivers up top, and if we wanted to, we could stop at Breece in terms of early running backs and kind of make a hero RB build here. We could go 2 running backs and kind of make a double hero where we could have a hero RB build or a double hero RB build, but we already stacked up 2 elite wide receivers on top, which I think is a really fun idea. In just terms of like zigging when others are zagging with how wide receiver isn't as sexy as it usually is in these rounds. God damn, I would have loved ETN there. I would have loved ETN there. That's made this decision a lot harder. I think I'm going to go Gibbs. And we're going to try out a little reverse engineered double hero RB build here. Because I'm not in love with any of the wide receivers here. If I had Higgins or Chase, maybe I'd go Burrow. Let's go Gibbs. I know Brock in the chat isn't a fan of 4th round Gibbs, but give me Gibbs in the 4th round. I think I would take him. Like, if we're talking like redraft managed leagues, like over on FFPC, my guess is by August, man, I think that he's going to be a 2-3 round turn on there. I really do. So give me him here. And this is what we're kind of doing. We're kind of reverse engineering a double hero RB build. Like, I'm not going to chase running backs into like round 5, 6, 7. Maybe I will, and we'll kind of end up doing a hyper fragile type build where I'll cap it off at like 4 running backs. But it's something I've liked doing, where we take wide receiver early, just because that's just sort of the nature of the beast right now with what ADP and what this environment is, and then just scooping up running back value in the 3rd and 4th round, where usually that's where the dead zone is. But I just think, I mean, I just drafted Breece Hall. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like the RB11, round 3, RB12, RB13. So top 13 running backs in round 3 and 4. It's kind of crazy. What else we got? We got Toronto Dave the Mandem in here. What's going on? I want a QB jump video, T-Law, Fields, Mac. That could be fun. Is it a good idea to look at the players with the highest advance rates last year? Yeah. I'm actually going to write that down, Brock. I did want to do a, what do you want to call it? I don't know if you want to call it like a retro retrospective, but I did want to look at advance rates from last year and kind of make some drawing some stuff from that, because I did include that in the beginning of yesterday's video, just the Eagles advance rates. But I think it would be a good video idea to kind of just look through all of them, look through all the advance rate things that stick out, just maybe a top 10 takeaways from last year's advance rate, something like that. What do we think about that? I'm just writing it down right now. I'm not don't mean to be weird about it. Looking through UD advance rates. And I'm probably going to make an Underdog strategy video. We've made one every single year, and both times they've gotten over 10,000 views, which is pretty crazy. So I'll probably do another one like that where I kind of talk through what my general strategy is on Underdog this year, some takeaways from last year, all of that stuff. I like the idea of Godwin being a target monster too. It's just a little bit tough. It's a little bit tough. He hasn't been a target monster recently. Him and Evans have kind of lived on efficiency. How can everyone be so high on Tyreek and Waddle but not Tua? It's a good question. I would say lack of rushing upside, lack of upside in general. Injury stuff. Like I think at this, I don't know. Maybe it's the Jets homer in me, but I think Mike. Like if something happened to Tua, I really don't think Mike White would be a. It wouldn't be Skylar Thompson. I think Mike White could keep Waddle and Tyreek afloat. I agree. Burks and Pickens, I'm not excited to pick right now either. What else we got? You're saying Bijan over Eckler is a mistake. Look at who their quarterback is. I don't know that is really a huge factor for running back success, Over Debo. Are you asking me? Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin values in best ball right now? No. 4th round Keenan Allen doesn't feel good at all to me, man. 4th round Keenan Allen is disgusting. Chris Godwin's probably a value, though. Chris Godwin's probably always a value. You take some D-Hop there, he will be a value if he gets traded. Yeah, I agree. If he gets traded, he probably bumps up around. What else we got? Let me pull up the Week 17 schedule as well. I would like to have that in the background. Been trying to get better at setting those stacks up. So let's see. We have Vegas. All right, so let's not do that just yet. Herbert, Chargers, Broncos. We have Dobbins in here. We have Pitsy. So Godwin goes, give me Ayuk. This is like the last run. This is like the last wide receiver in this range that I even really like all that much. Let's see what comes back around to us. I also do want to, I want to start setting up some correlation. Man, this is a wide receiver hungry room. Are any of you guys in here? I don't see Brock in here. I don't see anybody that I recognize, but the wide receivers seem to be flying off the board right now. I have no interest in 6th round Jordan Addison. I don't know if I'm just being a hater for that. 6th round Jordan Addison is not fun. I don't know. I don't understand 6th round Jordan Addison versus like 7th, 8th round Quentin Johnston, but what do I know? Man, the wide receivers get yucky at this point. Let's go Dameon Pierce. I didn't want to take this many running backs, but I don't really want to. I've been taking some Pitts, but I also think that you could just take like 3 tight ends late and be fine. We took 2 wide receivers early, so we don't really have to worry about that. And then at running back, we can really cut it off at like 4 or 5 here, and be good to go. Right? Because we have Pierce, Jahmyr Gibbs, Breece Hall. Like we really only need. We could probably cut it off at like 5 running backs total. We're gonna have to figure something out at quarterback. Also, I'm gonna put my face cam here so you guys can actually see what's going on a little bit. But I do want to, real quick, and I'll get back to the chat in a second, but I do want to kind of get some stacks going here where we have like Jimmy G. Like, I'm going to get some, let me queue up some things. This is extremely, I don't know. I don't know if I would call it degenerate or like risky, but I do like sort of setting these things up. We have Breece Hall. I'm not necessarily trying to stack, like if I had Breece Hall, I'm not even necessarily trying to stack him with, of course, now I'm in the way of the queue, which is annoying, but I'll put myself here now. But the idea is, I don't know, I'm not dying to pair up Breece Hall with like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, like that's probably a fine stack, but I honestly would rather have Breece Hall as like a bring back with like Deshaun Watson and David Njoku in terms of like week 17 stacks. I guess I'll star Donovan Peoples-Jones, but I star everything. It's, I don't know. Some people probably think that it's a bad strategy to do what I'm doing, but I star everything because what it comes down to is once I'm on the clock, it's just kind of a tier breaker. You know, if I have a starred player that's somehow a stack in some way, I'm much more likely to press the button on those guys. Like we have, I mean, I'm down to stack Gibbs with some, you know, pass catching options or Goff or something. The other side of that Detroit game, I believe, is the Cowboys, which Dak's price is kind of palatable at this point in the year, in my eyes. That's probably a bad price for Deuce Vaughn, as much as I love him. So Cowboys, Detroit. Oh yeah, and we already actually I didn't even realize that, but we have Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown now, so Goff would make a lot of sense. Houston. Who the heck does Houston play in the final week? The Titans. Oh, that's just. I don't even know that I want to star anything there. I don't even think I'm. Jeez, dude. I guess we'll star some stuff. Titans, Detroit we did, Vegas, and then we have the 49ers. So we'll get some 49ers going. Maybe we'll draft some more Trey Lance. Maybe we'll draft a Brock Purdy. All right, and then I think we're kind of good there. I think Washington's on the other side of that San Fran game, and now we're all good to go. And then I'll just do the thing where this is actually the annoying part, is getting the low ADP guys toward the top. In case if I do get auto-drafted, we don't have things getting screwed up too much. And then I'll get back in the chat, and we'll chat for a bit. But I did want to get that set up. I guess kind of to show you guys what like I would do if I wasn't streaming, but also just to kind of optimize things a little bit more. Just because once we get to this point in the draft, it's like, I don't know. I don't mind the tiebreaker of, oh, okay, this guy completes a stack for us. I'll just take him, you know? Like, there's nobody, I mean, there's a couple guys on the board that I won't say that, like, I would love to draft here, but I get sniped by you guys a ton, and then I'm scrambling, and then I take a player that I didn't really need to take a gamble on, you know? I'm very close to giving up at this point. And just leaving it as is. Yeah, we're fine. That's fine. All right, let me go back to the draft board, because I'm sure you guys want to know what the heck is even going on at this point. But this is where we're at. We get sniped on Deontay Johnson. That was one of the guys I would have loved to have. Everybody's taking the guys I want. Quentin Johnston off the board now. Let's go. Let's go Brandon Cooks here. Let's go Brandon Cooks. He's on the opposite side of those Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown stacks. And we don't even necessarily have to take Dak Prescott when we do that. I was talking with Liam Murphy. He's the guy who won BBM2. I brought him up a bunch. But he's kind of he was talking to me on his show. The quarterback is kind of like the least important part of a stack, which was shocking news to me. But I kind of, that DFS side of things in terms of like weekly correlation and weekly ceiling is kind of a blind spot for me. So it's interesting when he kind of brings that stuff up. And it's really just because quarterback scoring on a week-to-week basis is much more easy to find than it is a random wide receiver spike week, is kind of the way that he mentioned it. It's like if T. Higgins and Jamar Chase both go off for 20-plus points, of course Burrow's going to be good, but there might only be, 4 or 5 20-plus point wide receivers in a week, whereas if Joe Burrow ends up like the QB2 or the QB3 or even the QB1, there's going to be guys in the mix that really won't be too far off of that, that you could already have on your roster. So let's take Deshaun. I honestly, let's take Deshaun. I mean, we talked about the Browns a bunch yesterday. Why not make it happen? But it is pretty crazy to me that Anthony Richardson is sandwiched between Deshaun and Dak. I think I would probably put A-Rich behind Dak, but it's close. It's close. I'll give him that. What do we got? I've been kind of neglecting chat in favor of setting up some correlation. Any thoughts on Madison this year? I've kind of talked about this a bunch, but I'm not a huge fan. Just feel like the previous regime where he would have gotten, 20 touches every game that Dalvin Cook goes down is no longer there, right? That was like Zimmer, Stefanski, Kubiak. So under the new regime, they've drafted running back each of the last 2 years. They could bring in Ezekiel Elliott. They could bring in Fournette. They could just not even cut Dalvin Cook. So I'm not buying high here, Do you do roster reviews? Sort of on the Patreon, I do. Where do you think Mixon is going by the start of the season? Depends if he gets suspended. No suspension, he probably goes like 4th, 5th round. Yes, sir, we're already on that wavelength. Yeah, I agree. I think that, we've talked about it. We talked about it in the last stream, but I think that Seahawks offense is going to be electric. And I agree. I think JSN's going to be, in year 1, he is going to be a slot-only 3 wide receiver set guy, JSN. Now, maybe he blows up down the stretch, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown was kind of that his rookie year, and he blew up down the stretch, and teams use 3 wide receiver sets a bunch. I don't know why the Seahawks wouldn't, outside of maybe having Disley as a run blocker on like 12 personnel sometimes. So there should be opportunity there. I think that he will be efficient. I think he will come alive down the stretch, but people are underrating Lockett a little bit. Now, I will say, I don't mind. 6th-round Lockett is a little bit steep, though. Maybe they're not underrating him. You're in here and you do enjoy 6th-round Addison. I see it. You said, I think the Vikings will be a super pass-heavy offense operating as the 2. I think Addison leads all rookie wide receivers in targets. Wow. That's interesting. I'm actually curious to see where Clay has Addison right now, just in terms of projections. Let me see. Who do we think gets more targets in 2023? Do we think Hawkinson or Addison? My guess would honestly be Hawkinson. Yeah, I guess Addison's bull case is the same one that we've had with every rookie wide receiver. I guess for me, I just don't understand why Addison is a 6th-round pick and Quentin Johnston is a 7th-round pick. It just doesn't make sense to me. Similar tier prospect, back-to-back picks in the real NFL draft. Herbert's better than Kirk Cousins. Addison's behind Jefferson and Hawkinson. Quentin Johnston's behind Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Is Eckler the difference there? Quentin Johnston, to me, is also more built for best ball, where he could give you like 4 catches for 120 yards and like 2 touchdowns. He has those big spike week upside type games, so I don't know. You said not the QJ and Deontay Snipes? Yeah, dude. It's insane. It's insane, but I didn't mind taking Cooks there. I really didn't mind taking Cooks there. You said you would have gone Debo over Breece Hall coming off the ACL. I'm not all that scared of the ACL. You guys think I should have an injury guy on and talk through Breece Hall's like ACL and kind of some other things? But I don't know. I think that would probably be good for like August, though. Like, I don't know if that would be good for right now. I mean, maybe it would be interesting. We're going to get Dak way past ADP here. Let's do it. Let's do Dak and Deshaun. We can honestly just cut off quarterback there. I think that's more than fine. We already have, I mean, we have the Detroit. We have the Dallas to Brandon Cook. So I think that that's kind of fun. You can unstar all these quarterbacks now, too. Boom. I kind of like Deshaun and Dak. Not terrible. Actually, let me make my face a little bit smaller here. People are saying Addison over Hawk. I think it'll be Hawk. So thoughts on late tight end versus late tight end? I've been on the Musgrave train courtesy of Winks. I've been loving Musgrave myself. I don't know that I would love him for redraft. But I don't know. I think you're in a good space if you are either taking elite tight ends or you're taking a bunch late. I think the middle round ones are where you get in trouble. Should we take a running back here? We could definitely take a running back if we'd like to. Let's do Antonio Gibson. I know that Brian Robinson's on the board, but just actually give me Damian Harris. I've been drafting so much Damian Harris, man. Give me Damian Harris. I think that that's really the play. I think Damian Harris is really the play there. And then who does Buffalo play? Is it the Patriots in the final week? I'm starting to remember them a little bit. Yeah, it is the Patriots. I don't know that there's any Patriots that I'm dying to have though. Oh yeah. Forget all of this. I don't need the week 17 correlation there. I'll have a naked Damian Harris as I think that's fine by me. What else we got? But yeah, in terms of late tight end versus elite tight end, I don't think one is better than the other. I think the thing that you want to stay away from is you either want to take the elite tight ends, which would be, in my eyes at this point, it's just Kelsey and Andrews, or wait until the double-digit rounds. That's like pretty like beginner level stuff that I used to follow pretty tightly, and then I got in trouble last year by chasing your Kittle, Waller, Pitts tier. I think your best bet is, again, either taking Andrews, Kelsey, or just waiting until a double-digit round and taking a bunch of darts. Now I love Pitts so much that I'm still going to be taking Pitts a fair amount. But if I was a smarter man, I think that's what I would do. What are your opinions on the new NFL rule? It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks just because, like, I don't know. In terms of like kick returns and stuff, it's not like the most electric part of the game. But there is just something about, growing up. Like I loved Devin Hester, Josh Cribbs, Jacoby Jones was fun. Brad Smith for my Jets was really fun on kickoff returns. Like, I don't know. I just have so many memories as a kid, just like kickoffs being so electric. Like, I remember there was some guy for the Titans that like Chris Berman used to love. I think his name was like Mariani. Like he would call him like Mariani marching band or Mariani mariachi band or something like that. And he would always return one. So I don't know. It's a fun part of the game. It just feels like more and more we're just sort of incentivizing teams not to return kicks, which I think is fine in terms of terms of the injury stuff, but it is a little bit of a bummer just as someone that loves nostalgia, you know. I do love a good special teams specialist or whatever. Yeah, that's a fair point. People overrate Mike Williams on Underdog. I think it's because of the spike weeks, but Quentin Johnston's spike weeks are insane. Like if you just look at Quentin Johnston's game logs, like he is the perfect best ball wide receiver, kind of in the similar mold as Jamison Williams. Like I'm trying to like Quentin Johnston last year versus I think it was against Michigan. Like against Michigan in the college football playoffs, the guy had like he went insane. Like he literally went sicko mode. Yeah, he put up 6 for 163 and a touchdown. Like he against Kansas. Kansas was good last year too. He had 14 for 206 and 1. That's actually not even that crazy. 4 for 139 versus Kansas State. Like he can just give you, you know, on a few catches, massive, you know, game-breaking upside, which is what we want in redraft. And even if you think Jordan Addison outscores him weeks 1 through 14 or 1 through 10 or 1 through 12, we really want those money-making weeks. And by the end of the year, you know, rookie wide receivers, they tend to like trend up and get better as the year goes on, right? We saw it with Amon-Ra St. Brown his rookie year. I think Jahan Dotson a little bit last year too. He really came on down the stretch. Quentin Johnston puts it all together down the stretch. He could give you 20-plus point games in the most meaningful week. So I think especially an Underdog, Quentin Johnston just makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. Yeah, it could be Viking stacks with Justin Jefferson. That's actually a great point. It's a great point. I'm just mad because I like Quentin Johnston. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm just screaming at the clouds. So what do we got here? I got to be honest with you guys. I don't even really like Dalton Kincaid, but we have Damian Harris. And, I mean, if he's going to fall this far past his ADP, 12th round Dalton Kincaid, I still don't even love it, man. I still don't even really like it that much. Let's do it. We need a tight end, though. We need a tight end. We're probably going to have to end up with 3. This build is probably going to end up being like a 2-5, probably a 2-5-8-3 is what we'll kind of, we'll be gunning for here. What else we got? Yep, that's what I'm saying. They're both, you know, kind of palatable prices. Like we got what 8th, 9th round, just 2 quarterbacks there. Boom. People are saying you guys like the Dak Deshaun. Okay, so I'm way too far behind on the chat here, fellas. That's my bad. Irv Smith and Gerald Everett train, just need them to randomly catch TDs. I don't mind that. Streets need a 2025 RS grades video. Know that I wrote that down today. We're gonna do a 2025 rookies video very soon, very soon. Probably either next week or the week after that. We'll have a 2025 class preview. Should we just go Gallup? Give me Gallup. I don't even mind Gallup another year post, or not another year, but you know, 2 years post ACL now. He clearly wasn't himself last year, so I don't mind that. But we're probably good on Dallas now. I'm gonna unstar any Dallas pass catchers I have. Actually, no, I actually don't mind taking like a Jake Ferguson or Schoonmaker late. I'm actually curious what you guys think. Like Schoonmaker and Jake Ferguson are back-to-back in ADP right now. I think Underdog ADP actually favors Jake Ferguson. Curious what you guys think on that. I don't know what to think in terms of who. Is it going to matter in the end? I don't know. But what tight end do we think leads the Cowboys in targets this year is my question. Jacoby Jones is my girlfriend's hero. Why your girlfriend's hero? But I do absolutely love Jacoby Jones, man. Jacoby Jones used to, him and Chris Johnson used to do the, I think it's called like the Choppa City Juke. One of the best sellies out there. If you can look that up, man, the Choppa City Juke is iconic. It's better than the gritty. It's better than everything. Can you recap your team? Didn't see the first pick. So you know what? Why not? Let's recap the team real quick. This is us. We could have maybe gone Eckler or Jonathan Taylor up top. I decided not to. I went Devontae. To me, Devontae is like the last of like a 20-plus point per game tier here at wide receiver. Just want to make sure we're not even that close. But yeah, we took Devontae, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 2 wide receivers at the top, which is kind of what we've been coming around on where, like, I mean, we look through the first 2 rounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 running backs. Like, you can still get an RB1 by ADP at, like, the late third. So I don't mind getting your elite wide receivers in early, and then where the running back dead zone would usually be, where I would avoid them, I don't mind hammering in, you know, your Breece Hall. I think Jacobs is even great here. I think ETN, Gibbs, Ramondre in the third, I absolutely love. Like, I like all these guys. So something that I was just kind of messing around with. We went Ayuk. Could have went a different route than Dameon Pierce, but I figured why not go another running back. Cooks to get a Week 17 stack versus our Lions that we have with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Gibbs. Double tap QB, Damian Harris, Dalton Kincaid, Michael Gallup. And now we're here. I think that was a decent recap. Exactly. They're going to run a ton of plays. They're going to pass the ball a ton. And Quentin Johnson spike weeks on Underdog and best ball formats is going to be so sweet, man. So sweet. You said, I was hoping QJ was going to fall to the Giants in the draft, but I'm happy with how Giants drafts this offseason went either way. You're a Giants fan? I see it. I agree, though. That was a guy I would have wanted if I was a Giants fan, but I think Deontay Banks is actually a great pick for them anyways. I like Laporta as a late tight end. Has he already gone yet? No, he hasn't. Okay. Yeah, Laporta is actually a fun late round tight end, too. QJ doesn't get negative points for body catching. You would think he does, man. You would think he does. You're trading Bijan in a mid to early first for Jefferson. Only other wide receivers are Godwin, Ridley, and Myers. Got Bijan. Man, I don't think I would. I think I would move one of those other running backs for a wide receiver, to be honest. I think I would hold on to Bijan. I think I would move one of those other running backs and try to get someone, instead of Jefferson, get someone in that like Kupp, Devontae, Diggs, Tyreek range. That would be my word of advice. What else we got? Oh, man. I don't even like Donovan Peoples-Jones, but it just has to happen with our Deshaun. It just has to happen. Simply just has to happen. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. Let me scroll down a little bit. Also, if you guys are enjoying the video, make sure you leave a like. Feel free to drop any questions, redraft dynasty, whatever you want. I'm in here, chopping it up with you guys, speaking directly to the people. How do you feel about this Celtics game? I got a good chunk of money on Celtics -8, but I don't feel good about it at all. You said, Ron, where's the 2027 class preview? I'm clueless and Devi. Dude, I got nothing for you, man. I got nothing for you. I know I have one Devi league that I think we're doing our freshman draft soon here. I don't know a damn thing. I literally don't know a damn thing about what I'm going to be doing here. Now, here's the question. Do we have too much Detroit? We already have Gibbs. We already have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Do we have too much Detroit to take Laporta? Should we just take a naked Jawan? I'm going to take Jawan, dude. Jawan Johnson's, like, a very fun player. I think that we've talked about him a bunch already, but Jawan Johnson kind of has a Darren Waller type profile where he played wide receiver at, I believe, Penn State or, like, Oregon or something. We've talked about this before, and I'm being an idiot, but I'm looking him up on relative athletic score real quick. I don't think he's as athletic as a Waller, but like if you run him as a tight end on relative athletic score, what does he get? He goes from a 6.5 wide receiver to a 7.78 tight end, but that's just because he's a little bit under, or he came out undersized at 6'4", 230. He's probably much bigger than that now, but he ran like a 4.5, decent agility, decent explosion, and they've kind of talked about him. If the Saints don't, I think Josh Norris has brought this up on Twitter a good bit recently, but there's something about Derek Carr wanting a slot guy like Hunter Renfrow, and if the Saints could go out and trade for Hunter Renfrow, which would kind of nuke Jawan Johnson, but if they don't, you could see Jawan Johnson as like a big slot tight end role and kind of running a lot of those Hunter Renfrow routes underneath, which would be really, really exciting. I think people forget how usable Jawan Johnson was down the stretch last year. Yeah, I probably lean Ferguson as well, ever so slightly. Opinion on Barkley: I know his efficiency and snap share dropped last year, so I don't know if I'm willing to take him over Amon-Ra, Wilson, or Waddle. Yeah, that is literally the $1 million question this year: is where do you want to take Barkley? Because the volume's going to be there, the offense is going to be better, and efficiency isn't sticky year to year. So I'm kind of open to the idea that he could improve Saquon Barkley on what he did last year, but man, he could just be a little bit dusty. You know, we see a lot of these guys fall off, especially with your leg injuries like we saw with Todd Gurley. David Johnson fell off rather quickly, so it could be Saquon's time soon here. He could also completely bounce back and give you 20 plus points per game. It's really hard to say. Am I crazy for taking Devontae over A.J. Brown still? No. And it's crazy because you guys know I've been A.J. Brown's like #1 guy. I've absolutely loved A.J. Brown every single year. We have tried to be overweight on A.J. Brown. This is finally the year, man, where if his ADP is going to be 109, dude, like I can't take him over Devontae Adams. I just can't. There's not going to be enough volume in that offense. He's going to be monster efficient, but that defense is so good with all the Georgia guys they brought in too. Like I just don't think they're going to have many comebacks. Like I don't think they're going to have to pass the ball a lot. Devontae's coming along too. It's just tough. It's tough. I think he's going to be good. I just don't know. That he outscores Devontae Adams. After that, though, I'm fine with him. Are you okay with pivoting from Drake London to Devonta Smith to try and contend this year? Other wide receivers are Garrett, Waddle, JSN, McLaurin. I don't love selling Drake London in Dynasty. If I did, I wouldn't want Devonta Smith. I would want somebody more so in that Devontae Adams, Cup, Tyreek Hill, Diggs area, like a true difference maker if you want to contend. Yeah, I agree. I think it'll probably be Ferguson early on and then Schoonmaker maybe down the stretch. It's a little bit weird. I'm curious what Mike Clay's pass attempt projections are. I think the Chargers will lead the NFL in attempts next year. I imagine he has them very high as well. But I will check just for you, Brock. He has them second in dropbacks, second in attempts. I don't know who he would. Oh, first is actually the Chiefs. So that makes sense. He has them second behind the Chiefs. We got Fantasy Football Garage in here. What's going on? Yeah, I would hold on. Like I wouldn't want to add a first on the Bijan for anything but a quarterback. Is kind of my thoughts. Gentleman sweep on Celtics. Jimmy is that guy. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I could see it. See what else we got. Oh, we could take Renfro. So we have. Let's take Mayer as our last tight end here. I don't love that we're taking so many rookie tight ends, but that'll be our last tight end. Mayer, Kincaid, Jawan Johnson. It's pretty ugly there. Now we have 16, 17, 18. We have 3 more picks. I think in a perfect world, this is a 2-5-8-3, but this could also be a 2-6-7-3. I wouldn't mind either. Not psyched about any of these options, to be real with you guys. How much do we got on Cleveland right now? Not a ton. Other side of Vegas is the Colts. Nothing really there that I want. Dallas, Detroit's already pretty much fully loaded here. Could just take a Zeke Elliott and see how that goes. So Zeke Elliott's gone to West Side Thug, huh? Give me. Oh, we do need Jets on the other side of that Cleveland game. Give me a one-off McCole Hardman, dude. Give me a one-off. No, don't give me a one-off McCole Hardman. I don't want a one-off McCole Hardman. Give me Jerome Ford. Or actually, no, give me McCole Hardman. Give me Jerome Ford. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that one bit. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Now we have 3 Cleveland. Ideally, we get somebody on the Jets on the way back. The reason I was hesitant on McCole is I don't mind McCole, but I also think Corey Davis and Randall Cobb are like just as good plays. I don't love Jerome Ford by any means, but I think he's like a fine handcuff. And I was fine getting one more piece of that Cleveland offense. I do want to take some more wide receivers here, though. So we already sort of we have what we need. I want McCole or Corey Davis, and then after that, I'm kind of cool with whatever. Washington. Yeah, after that, it can kind of just be whatever. Just fine, I guess. I guess I'll put myself there. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. What else we got in here? CBS Fantasy projects the Chargers to lead the NFL in pass attempts and Vikings third in attempts. That's interesting. That's interesting. I want to see what Clay has him at. Let's see what he has the Vikings at. ABCD. He has Vikings 6th in dropbacks, 4th in attempts. So they'll both be pass heavy. That's fun. That probably makes sense. He has Kirk Cousins as QB9, which is kind of interesting. Said CJ Baxter for Texas, nice freshman RB. Arch Manning, Carnell Tate, the next big Ohio State wide receiver. Yeah, I've heard of those guys. I saw something about Renfrow getting traded. Is the impact mainly on Jacoby Myers? Yeah. The impact would be mainly on Jacoby Myers. And then if Renfrow gets moved to the Saints, I think that would negatively impact the tight ends there. Maybe even Rashid Shaheed a little bit. Dude, it sucks with AJ Brown too, because you guys know AJ Brown is maybe like my favorite wide receiver since he's been drafted. And it just sucks. He's been in a low volume pass offense the entire time. Like if he was just anywhere else, man, that was just like top 10 in pass attempts, to me he would be I think that he would be a 20+ point per game guy very easily. You said, I guess that means Vikings and Chargers defense going to be horrendous again. Honestly, I honestly think both defenses could actually be pretty good. I know Brock said the defenses are going to be cheeks, but I think, Staley's a defensive guy, and they brought in Flores with the Vikings. Like maybe I'm thinking too much into coaches, but it wouldn't shock me if they turn those units around a little bit. Tyquan Thornton is a breakout year 2 guy. I don't hate it. Yeah, I know Corey Davis is a cut candidate, but I think he would have been cut by now. if he was going to be cut. Who is QB for the Raiders behind Jimmy G? Because there's already signs he might have issues. His injury could linger. I think it's Brian Hoyer. You said testing out tight end for 16, 17, 18. I don't mind that. You can even get weird with that. And I've heard some people that have done research that 15, 16, 17, 18 going 4 tight ends in a row is actually a pretty strong strategy. It is tough with 18 rounds to go 4 tight ends, though. I did have some 4 tight end builds in the 20-round big board stuff, though. I know it feels terrible, but you have to remember on like a week-to-week basis, like your top 10 tight ends in scoring every week, most of them are the dusty guys. Like let me actually see real quick, like the top scoring tight ends. So Fantasy Pros scoring leaders. Like I just want to see what the scoring leaders for Week 17 was in 2022. Because I imagine you'd be shocked. Like if we go Week 17, I gotta make a pick in a second here. You guys are actually gonna love this. Let me read through this once I make my pick here. Man, we could take another running back. You know what? Let's not. Let's take Cedric Tillman. And then hopefully we don't get sniped on the next guy that I would like. And that'll be that. I think maybe we went 2 Cleveland heavy. Or 2 stack heavy. But I think we'll be fine. Could have gone without Jerome Ford. I think that's the pick that I kind of regret here. But I think we're all right. But yeah, so here are your Week 17 leaders at tight end, and this is why you can kind of like strip them together late in best ball, because we're talking. So here are your leading scorers last year, Week 17 tight ends: Dalton Schultz, Trey McBride, then Mark Andrews, then Brock Wright, Darren Waller, then Colby Parkinson, Robert Tonyan, Tyler Conklin, Taysom Hill, Albert Okwuegbunam, T.J. Hawkinson, George Kittle, Tommy Tremble, Logan Thomas, then Travis Kelce, then Jawan Johnson, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett. So it is pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy how off the wall that can be in terms of tight end scoring. So you can have a pretty dusty tight end room, and you can hit on a 20-plus point guy right when you needed him in Week 17, you know? This is a good team. I think I took too much Cleveland. I don't like that I took so much Cleveland, but I think it's going to be all right. Right? I think Dallas we just took Gallup and Cooks, which I think is fine. And then Cleveland, I think we took one too many Clevelands, but it's a handcuff. I don't really care. I actually kind of love this team, though. This is how I would build I don't even know what I would call it. Like, I would kind of call it a hyper-fragile RB. Hyper-fragile RB build where we kind of, like, hammer wide receivers early, punt tight end a little bit. Just kind of feeling out the room and just doing something different is kind of what I would call this draft. Yeah, the Viking secondary is really bad. You said DFS last year was basically start whichever running back was versus the Chargers. Yeah, that is very true. You said not to get too hand in the dirt, but Staley loves to play light boxes while having a really bad nose tackle and 3-tech. It's not a good strategy at all. It is interesting because Staley was supposed to be this defensive stud. So I don't know. So I don't know what the issue is. Oh, you're saying because Aaron Donald. That actually makes a lot of sense. I think 3-tech plays between the guard and tackle? Or is that a 4-eye? I don't know, dude. That's where it gets tricky for me. You said you took McBride, figure that Arizona's chalked by then, and they just feed him like last year. I don't hate that. You said, yeah, I'm punting tight end a lot. I don't know if I've done a true 0 RB yet this year. Yeah, tight end, you can get away with punting just because week to week it's so random. Like, you can end up with 2 of the top scoring tight ends in a given week that you could have gotten in the last 2 rounds. I know that's sort of true for every position, but it's the most true for tight end. Now, that's going to do it. We have the Celtics game on. I'm going to go watch that in a second here. This is where the team ended up, though. We took Devontae and Amon-Ra St. Brown up top. So we take our 2 elite wide receivers there. We could have taken a running back, but I decided to do that because the running back value in round 3 and 4, I think, is so much. Like, Breece Hall and Jahmyr Gibbs for me are absolute smashes in round 3 and 4. I think even Etienne's a smash. I think Ramondre's a smash here. Pollard will fall to the 3rd sometimes. Usually I would be fading running backs like rounds 3 through 6, but getting to a point here where wide receiver is a little bit dustier than it's been in years past, and running back is kind of interesting in this range. I like Dameon Pierce. He's a guy that I thought I wouldn't like going into the season. I think that he is going to what am I trying to say here with Dameon Pierce? I think he's going to catch a lot more passes than I previously thought. Brandon Cooks has a nice stack with Dak Prescott, but also a bring back on our Detroit stuff with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Gibbs. We take Deshaun Watson. Harris just as a running back. Dalton Kincaid was a little bit past his ADP, so I said, why not? Gallup to stack to Dak. Peoples-Jones to stack with Deshaun Watson. We go Jawan Johnson as kind of just a one-off tight end there. We go Michael Mayer. Why can I not show you guys the rest of this board? Oh, there we go. We go Michael Mayer, Jawan Johnson, just kind of like one-off tight ends there. Jerome Ford, handcuff, that kind of correlates with Deshaun Watson. Spike week guy, Cedric Tillman, that correlates with Deshaun Watson. And then Corey Davis, the other side of that Deshaun Watson game in Week 17, Jets versus Browns. So I might have over-correlated here. I'm open to the idea that I over-correlated here. But overall, I do like this draft overall. By the way, if you are new to Underdog Fantasy, make sure you're checking out the Poodle 2. You're using promo code RON when you sign up. There's a link in the live chat that's pinned at the top of the live chat. There's a link at the top of the comments. There's a link that's going to be at the top of the description. You hop in there, you use promo code RON. You click the link. It'll bring you to the Underdog. It'll already use the promo code for you. It'll match your deposit up to $100. You can hop in here. The Poodle 2, already 50% full, and it opened literally like 2 days ago. 20 entry max. I think I'm at like 6 entries right now. The goal is to max this out. I think that's going to fill by Saturday morning would be my guess. So you got to get in there quick. It's beginner friendly. Only 20 max entries. Usually it's 150. So sharks can't come in. Absolutely flood the pool. Only $7 to enter. It's a tournament, so you have huge prizes up top. $60,000 to first place. You draft your team. You set it and forget it. You never have to touch your lineup. It's all beautiful. You can get skin in the game all the way out here in May. It's a beautiful thing. Hope you guys enjoyed. I appreciate you guys coming out here, hopping in the stream, chopping it up, hanging out with the boy. Now, as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I will see y'all in the next one.